Interwest is a retail independent insurance agency offering a full range of business and personal insurance products. We're proud of our partnerships with Monument Administrators and the Preferred Club program, our alliance with KVIE, and thankful for the opportunity to serve our local communities.
Golf is so hard and it's not for everybody, but you never know until you try it. For me, it's opened up so many doors. It's allowed me to meet so many people and have so many great opportunities.
Just what is it? What inspires getting up before sunrise for that early tee time? What instills the love of the game? From PGA legends like Billy Casper.
It's been beautiful.
I thought we were pretty good until Lindsay spoke.
Yeah, I did too.
I've hit golf balls in 40 countries around the world.
Wow.
I've played with several presidents, a couple of kings.
To young golfers looking to land a college scholarship.
You meet so many people, you form so many friendships, and you go on to do things later in life with some of those people that you meet while you play golf. And just forming those lifelong friendships along the way is really what's important to me, and golf has helped me with that.
Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa. On this edition of Tee Time Golf in Northern California, I go home to the course where I got my start as a young man, to explore what makes this game so special. And we'll hear from the golfer who won more tournaments in the mid-60s than Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Gary Player, without the acclaim afforded the Big Three. We'll also introduce you to a golf instructor so talented that I like to call him the Golf Whisperer, and experience the beauty and storied history of the Presidio Golf Course in San Francisco. It's all coming up on Tee Time Golf in Northern California. The sun hovers on the horizon. The fairways are freshly mowed. Tee boxes are groomed. The public golf course, where all are welcome.
This is what it's all about, it's just being out around golf.
My round is okay. It's not great, but it's getting better.
A scene that's been played out since this sport's origins in 15th century Scotland. This is Mather Golf Course, located at the former Mather Air Force Base in Sacramento. Mather Golf Course holds a special place in my heart. This is where I first picked up a golf club. Many memories on this course, more important than just the score on the card. Family, friends, life lessons. I'll be back to explore those lessons and the history of this beautiful course. But first, let's meet a coach who's helping golfers develop their skills while fostering an appreciation for the game.
Golf is just a wonderful life-type sport. You have ups and downs in golf, and the way you react to them is how you are as a person, generally speaking. So that's kind of how I approach it.
Okay. I like to call Tim Berg the Golf Whisperer. Today, Tim is on the range coaching three young ladies: Courtney Guyran, Camille Wagg, and Kayla Reedy.
So how's your head position when you're swinging through? Are you working on keeping it back?
Tim has made me the player that I am today.
Camille is currently a senior at Rockland High School with plans to head to UC Irvine.
The grip looks good, posture looks good.
With Tim by her side, she plans to secure a full scholarship.
He's such a patient person, and he's so nice to work with.
I could tell the first lesson that she had with Tim that there was just a connection and that she trusted what he was saying.
He's not like other instructors that I've been to. He's technical when he needs to be, but he understands that golf is very hard and that it takes a lot of hard work to get to where you need to be. And he's kind of instilled that in me, and I know what I need to do to really be the best.
I remember I talked about slowing your hips down, not jumping at the ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, I think the genius of Tim, as I would tell people, is that he can relate kind of complicated swing theories in a way that kids get it and get it pretty quickly.
You know, most of your students have done well. I mean, in one form or another, whether it's in their golf game or the, you know, the way they have become better people just by being around you. Your students love you, Tim.
They do. Well, I love them too. We have a great time together.
Right.
No, good job today. Give me 5. I just treat them all the same and treat them like they're people and don't try to get overbearing with the lessons, and I think they enjoy that.
I think you learn a lot about yourself playing golf. A lot of things that will help you in your everyday life. A lot of it comes from the golf course.
It taught me to be more confident and to have more self-esteem in myself. And it's helped me to see things differently in a better perspective.
It's a more mentally challenging game, so I feel like it makes you like a smarter and better and all-around person. That's what I love about it.
How does it make you feel when you see one of these students that, you know, that you've had for 2 or 3 years progress to the point that they're shooting scratch scores and they're going to get a college scholarship? That's got to make you feel good.
It's pretty joyful. Yeah, it fills you with joy, and you really appreciate the fact that somebody was willing to listen to you and that they took it out there and did what they're doing.
Tim has a few words that are kind of key words when he talks to you, and one of them began with an S.
Smile.
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 He always reminds me before a tournament, like he texts me and says smile, and I always remember it, and it really just keeps me happy on the course.
I think that's his way of letting them know that it's just a game, really, at the end of the day.
Sometimes I'm scared to get up on the first tee, and I don't know what's going to happen. So he's really taught me to just trust myself and believe that I can win.
Without him, I don't really know where I would be today.
It's just, I think it's been a real positive thing for her life.
Golfers have been teeing it up here at Mather in Rancho Cordova for more than 50 years. The course is now part of the Mather Regional Park, but before that, it was a recreation spot for officers and airmen and their families stationed at the Mather Air Force Base. The year was 1958. Jack Benny and Ed Sullivan entertained audiences on television. A young rock and roll star named Elvis Presley was starting his military service after being drafted by the Army. And in Sacramento, Mather Air Force Base opened a new golf course. Initially just 9 holes at a cost of $50,000. The back 9 was finished in 1960 for another $50,000. Finally, a clubhouse was built. And considering the original location of the course in an open treeless prairie, the course was pretty barren in its early days. Also in 1958, assigned to Mather was a Strategic Air Command B-52 wing, bringing B-52 bombers and KC-135 tankers to Sacramento. Ivy Sigler and her husband joined the Mather Golf Course in 1973 after he retired from the military.
We joined out here. It was the first time I'd ever belonged to a group, and I just loved it. It was really wonderful. The camaraderie, and I've always been athletic, and I like to always win. The girls will tell you that.
The girls Ivy is referring to is a group of women who became friends over the past few decades while playing golf here. These days you won't find them on the course as much, instead sharing memories around the table at the course's cafe.
We stay real close together. This particular little group here, we see each other frequently.
Well, the 4 ladies that are in there, I've had since they moved here, and I moved here, and they're still my best friends because you're playing with 3 other people for 18 holes or 4.5 hours. And you talk about life, and we've lived very similar lives in the military or as dependents. So, no, just good friendships.
In the 1960s, my father was transferred to Mather to be an aircraft commander and fly B-52s with the Strategic Air Command. These were the days of the 24-hour in-air security flights, and a week at a time spent at the alert pad in constant readiness for a wartime assignment. While he was on duty, I was making new friends. Friends who introduced me to golf. When Mather Air Force Base was closed in 1993, the golf course was taken over by the County of Sacramento. It opened to the general public for the first time in 1994.
There's a lot of history here. This is a big part of Rancho Cordova, and so the people of Rancho Cordova really embrace it. And we've tried to likewise show the history of the Air Force here as the county has taken over operations of the course, and just kind of respectfully show that history and a lot of the different things we have around the clubhouse. All the tees on the golf course, we have our tee markers represented by little bombs. And then in our gazebo area, which we redid about 5 years ago, we've got a B-52 overlooking the scoreboard with large bombs on each side of it. And in each gazebo has a ceiling fan that's made to look like a propeller. And it's just some little things we try to do that when you're out there to reference the Air Force, is history here.
One of the things you've done, which I find really enjoyable, most golf courses have all of their golf carts are numbered. You've put airplanes on them, and we're here next to the B-26.
That's correct. Every cart has its own number, and we're fortunate that the Air Force allotted literally 1 through 77, so we've got one for every golf cart, and it's a unique thing.
A proud military legacy on display at Mather Golf Course. I have a very simple suggestion on how you can play faster, shoot better scores, and have more fun. Stop teeing it up from back here and move up a tee. Even Jack Nicklaus says, tee it forward. You know, you can play from any tee. The rules say you can, and most recreational golfers hit their tee shots around 200 yards. And when you move up a tee, you'll hit more lofted irons into greens and putt for more pars and birdies. Teeing it forward gives you a better opportunity to hit the same irons into greens that the professionals hit from their back tees. Now, Sacramento's Ryan Winther is the current RE/MAX long drive world champion, and he told me that when his game is a bit edgy, he moves to the forward tees. From there, he'll make 10 or 12 birdies and the rest pars, and he subconsciously reminds himself how to shoot lower scores. Now, if a guy that regularly hits it upwards of 400 yards can move up, we should be able to do it as well. You know, we sometimes forget that golf is a game, and games are supposed to be fun. Tee it forward and have a lot more fun. When you're on the golf course tackling that tough hole, playing professional golf is likely the furthest thing from your mind. But for Billy Casper, a love of the game that started at a very early age led him to earn legend status. I had an opportunity to sit down with Billy to talk about lessons in golf and life. Billy Casper was 5 years old when his father first put a golf club in his hand. It's unlikely his father could have predicted the amazing lifetime accomplishments Casper would go on to achieve. 51 PGA Tour wins. Third place in McCormick's World Golf Rankings in 1968, 1969, and 1970. 3 major championships, the 1959 and 1966 U.S. Opens, and the 1970 Masters Tournament. 2-time PGA Tour money winner and PGA Player of the Year. And most points scored by an American player in the Ryder Cup.
You know, I could see shots that nobody else could see, particularly when I hit it in the woods and places. I could see holes and things that no one else would even think about trying to hit a golf ball through.
Billy Casper won at least one PGA Tour event for 16 straight seasons, trailing only Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. And while his accomplishments on the course were on par with the so-called Big Three, he didn't receive the same level of recognition as Nicklaus, Palmer, or Gary Player. Everybody says that you didn't get your due, but when you look back on your life, I mean, it probably wasn't that big of a problem, was it?
It didn't bother me in the least.
You know,
it's been a charmed life, and you know, I've been so blessed, and I'm so grateful.
When you think about the guys you played with and, you know, the difference in the equipment and the balls and everything and the conditioning, could those guys have played with the guys today? I mean, how do you compare?
You know, I firmly believe that any player that had the hand-eye coordination could play in any era.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the guys today could have played in the era of Hagen or Hogan and Nelson and Snead, or they could have played in our era. We could have played in their era. And then there are three other things that are very important. One is not only the physical ability, but the mind, and being able to use the mind in a way that you act positively with every shot that you play. And the other thing is heart. And heart is something you can't see.
In 2012, Billy Casper authored a book, The Big Three and Me. In the book, he doesn't ponder why he never received the recognition of the Big Three, a testament to a golfer known for his class and grace on and off the course.
I don't know how a person could have a richer or fuller life. And people will ask me, how are you? And I said, I'm exceptionally good. If I were any better, there'd have to be two of me.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you tonight my dear friend and the 13th honorary member of the Northern California PGA, Mr. Frank LaRosa.
Recently, I received an honorary membership to the Northern California section of the PGA. I received the award for my service to the NCPGA section, its PGA professionals, and nonprofit organizations. It was the 13th time such an award had been given, and is quite an honor. A tee can refer to the area where you hit your opening shot on any hole, or it can refer to the little piece of wood or plastic that holds your ball off the ground, so you can hit your tee shot. Now, if you're not already confused, let me try a little harder. In earlier times, golfers made tees from little heaps of sand, and the sand was kept in little boxes called tee boxes, which gives us the historical connection and gets us back to where we started, which is the tee. Various types of reusable tees were invented over the years, made of rubber, cork, or paper, but the first commercial tee like we know today was the Ready Tee, invented by an American dentist in 1921. It was white wood with red tops, so they were easy to find. Today's tees are made of wood or plastic and come in many colors. There are anti-slice tees, friction-free tees, brush tees, flexible tees, and even biodegradable tees. You know, life was so much simpler when all we had was sand. The military and golf have been intertwined for generations. There are more than 150 golf courses at U.S. military bases around the world. There are also many former military courses that are now open to the public. San Francisco boasts one that captivates with its beauty and history, Presidio Golf Course.
Originally, it was a 9-hole golf course when it was built in 1895, and then in 1910 it was expanded to 18 holes, and then in 1920 it was redesigned. But the biggest change would be in the 30s when they started to plant all the trees. So originally here at Presidio, it was all sand dunes. You could pretty much see from one end of the golf course to the other. Now, as you can see, it's completely tree-lined.
We're in a national park. It's one of the only golf courses that we're aware of that's in a national park. But throughout time, when the military managed the course, a number of people came on site. We had President Roosevelt in the early days. There's a wonderful photo we have of him flanked by the Buffalo Soldiers, who were the early African-American soldiers, and it was taken right here on the course. And we're really focused on welcoming the public. The golf course is one of the ways we do that. It's for a long time been a recreation site for people, you know, even when the Army was here, the public was welcome to come and play quite often. There's actually one of the only natural lakes in the city is just down the hill from the golf course. So it's very important that the golf course is careful about use of pesticides. There are a lot of restrictions on the course which make it a very green course, and that's important because there are raptors who hunt along the course, and a variety of plants that we're on the Pacific Flyway, so a number of birds fly through and obviously, you know, eat gophers and mice that are located here on the course. So if they're using poisons, that can really affect the ecosystem. And throughout the park, it's a priority for us, and so we've put some restrictions on the course, but they've really been creative and managed to build a beautiful, wonderful course.
The fourth green here at the Presidio Golf Course kind of encompasses all the work you do on the entire golf course.
Yeah, it really does. It's our signature hole, and we just finished a rehabilitation on it here just at the end of July.
I love it. Brian, you've concocted kind of a really interesting fertilization for this particular green.
Yeah, we have. We use a product, we use something called compost tea, which is a microbial sort of brew, if you will, that we take compost and we create a microbe-rich liquid which we spray on the greens. It helps combat disease sort of organically without the use of some of the more common synthetic materials.
When you look at this entire area, there's just, I mean, there's the bunkers, there's the different kinds of grasses, you've got the drainage. I mean, you've got a lot going on here.
Yeah, we do have a lot going on here. This area really encapsulates a lot of different issues that we deal with on the golf course with, you know, water runoff, you know, playability issues, turf types, and, you know, overall maintenance practices.
Brian, from the golfer's point of view, they're standing on the tee, downhill 135 yards. They don't really see everything that's here. I mean, the amount of effort that goes into the design and then the implementation is incredible.
Well, I appreciate that. They don't see everything that's here, and that's really the goal, is to really, when we rehabilitate an area, we want it to look untouched afterwards. We want it to look like it's been here since the 20s.
Everything you do is with the environment in mind, though, and that's got to make you feel good to know you're doing some good as well.
It does make me feel good. I have 2 young kids of my own, and knowing that I'm helping protect the world that they're going to grow up in, I think it's good. It makes me feel good.
Yeah, makes us all feel good. When I stand on the first tee, what can I expect out of the day?
You can expect a challenging golf course. It's not terribly long, but you'll use every golf club in your bag, and very memorable holes. You'll remember all the holes here.
Life is a series of firsts. Your first kiss, first time you drive a car, first time you play golf. I played my first round at Mather many years ago, and it's just something that never leaves you. It was a lot of fun. Bev and Dottie have decided to go out and play with us today. I've got Lonnie, who was the head golf professional here at Mather so many years ago. We're going to try and go home and see if it's possible. Come on along, we're going to have some fun.
There was no trees in this area at all, none back then. And all these trees was planted. That's almost 50 years ago.
Wow. That's got to make you feel good, though, to have planted and now look at that 50 years later.
Yep.
You were talking about when you stood on the first tee, you handed them a can?
Yes.
And what are they going to do with that can?
You had to fill it up with all rocks.
Because this whole thing was covered with rocks.
It was just all rocks, all the fairways, just rocks, up and down every fairway. Just nothing, anytime you hit a club in the ground at that time, that club was shot.
So if you didn't fill up your bucket of rocks, you probably didn't come in.
You better not come back here.
Let's play the hole, see how we do.
Alrighty.
You told me you had a hole-in-one here?
Yes, yes.
One of your hole-in-ones is what you told me. Yeah.
Yes.
You've had how many?
3.
But now that you've given me those credentials,
yeah,
you have to get over the water. I mean, if you don't,
I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. Get up. Ah. It popped out.
It popped.
Yep.
It's an easy game.
Like that.
Dottie! Hey! Give me 5. Lonnie, you're the golf professional here. You know, I'm doing this television show. I got to get over the water. What should I be thinking about?
I would recommend you get in the car and drive over.
Hey, that's
Beautiful.
pretty good. Oh.
Hey, not so bad.
Well, I had a young fellow during the days, and he hit his ball, caught it off the heel of his club, went straight left, heading for the big lake over here, hit those trees up here, and ricocheted back across the road and ran right in the hole.
Who said this hole is a tough hole? Oh, look at this. Look at this. My gosh.
Little fern. A little higher and you'd have made that.
Well, you didn't tell me that though, did you?
Got to keep some of the information away from you. You can be a little fern. She can play just a little.
Look at this, look at this. Oh. Just knock it in for a 3.
Perfect. You got to be easier than that.
I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it.
Not like that.
Steph didn't play enough break.
It's not how you drive, it's how you arrive, Frank.
Oh, okay. So I do one good thing, and you know what? I'll play with you two anytime.
Right.
Come here, group hug. Lonnie, get in here.
Group hug.
This is too good. We have just tamed the 11th hole at Mather, and I've come back home. I think this is great. You know, I just never liked the idea of that Thomas Wolfe guy telling me you can't go home again. I still return to Mather Golf Course from time to time, and my mind floods with strong memories of the passing of youth, of family bonds, and especially of my mother, who's no longer with us. In a sense, of course, Wolfe is right. Home is not there anymore. But if the ties are strong enough, the memories full enough, and the love rich enough, the echoes of home will fill your heart with a reminder of who you are and how lucky you are to have lived life and had a chance to play the game. It's true for PGA legends like Billy Casper and for young golfers just getting their start. I'm Frank LaRosa. Thanks for being with us on Tee Time Golf in Northern California. I'll see you on the first tee.
I'll just leave you with this. The thing you do for yourself will die with you. The things you do for others will mark your place in the world. Thank you for letting me mark my place.
To order a DVD copy of this program, call 888-814-3923 or visit KVIE.org. Interwest is a retail independent insurance agency offering a full range of business and personal insurance products. We're proud of our partnerships with Monument Administrators and the Preferred Club program, our alliance with KVIE, and thankful for the opportunity to serve our local communities.